What is up, guys? I'm Tephrite. I reached top 500 flexing on all roles, however I'm mostly playing Spider-Man and Bucky. A couple weeks ago, before Ranked released, I made a tier list predicting who I thought was gonna be meta. As of making this video, I'm currently sitting in Grandmaster, which is top 0.03% of the player base, 2 weeks into the season, and my opinions have definitely changed. So I wanted to make an updated list. If you guys are new here, be sure to subscribe for more Rivals content. Alright, enjoy the video.
Let's do the Vanguards first. So, the top two Vanguards right now are probably Doctor Strange and Magneto. Both of them, incredible survivability. Their shields, especially Magneto, especially if you play them together, you can rotate shields out, in and out. Really, really freaking strong. Strange also has the highest damage out of any of the Vanguards. Maybe Thor, kind of there, but Strange has like some insane burst that he can output. But yeah, Strange I think is really, really good. I'd definitely say Strange is probably the best tank currently, or best Vanguard, sorry. His ultimate's also insane. Magneto, I did judge harshly last time. Magneto, I actually put in B tier, I think. I'm gonna try and spread them out a bit more this time. But yeah, Magneto, I put in B tier last time. Obviously, I kind of disagree with that right now. I think he has quite a really good survivability, especially his bubble can be really annoying. And I think what really separates him from other Vanguards right now, besides his shield being infinite essentially, well, besides, there's a meter for it, but you can't break his shield. His ultimate is insane because he can one-shot people inside Luna Snow and Mantis's ultimate, which is very important because, as we'll see later, of where I rank Luna Snow and Mantis. So, Magneto, I think, is actually going to be an A tier. I'm going to put Strange in S tier. I don't really want to compare them to their other roles. So just because it's an S tier Vanguard doesn't mean they're just as good as Hela. I think they're just the S tier Vanguard. Yeah, so Doctor Strange, I think, is definitely an S tier. High damage, high sustain, can challenge for high ground easily. Great ultimate. The TP can also come in so clutch, it's insane. And yeah, Magneto in second. He's got some decent damage. The bubble is really what's really good about him, in my opinion. And the ultimate, and also his shield is infinite. Yeah. Next up is Cap. I think I'm gonna put Cap in B. Cap can be good. I think Cap can be good, especially with Thor, because Thor kind of makes up for his damage with a team up. Yeah, I think Thor can be Captain America can be good when Thor's there. But when Thor isn't there, Captain America is just sort of diving into the back line. He just sort of he's just a nuisance. He's one of those annoying characters, I feel like. I don't think he's that great right now. I think if they buffed his damage a bit, I think he'd be great. But I think he's mid tier right now. I don't think I think he's worse than Magneto currently. I'd rather have Magneto than I have Captain America on my team. Next up actually is Hulk, and I think Hulk is better than Captain America. I'm actually tempted to put put Hulk here on A. I'm unsure. Yeah, I'll put Hulk on A. I still think Magneto is better than Hulk. But I'll put him on A. I'll put Hulk on A. I think that the thing that scares people from playing Hulk is that you jump in and you're melee, right? The melee range is kind of scary, You got your bubble, which is great. You can pulse into your teammates too. The fact that you can take out an entire strategist by just exiling them and then going headfirst into the other strategist, insane plays. He also works really, really well with Strange because of the team up, gives Strange more damage. Strange is already an S tier Vanguard, so teaming those guys up, chef's kiss. Also buffs Iron Man's damage, which we'll get into later on, which can be pretty good. But yeah, I think exactly. Hulk is a sleeper pick. Skill floor is quite high. Yeah, just to be able to get value out of him is quite high. But I still think once you learn how to play him, he's insane. He can enable your team so much. Next up is Groot. I think Groot's also an A tier. A or B. Either high A or low A or high B. I'll probably say low A. Groot's ultimate's insane. What Groot does best out of any Vanguard is live. Groot doesn't die. Even when you think he's on 1 HP and you're pumping damage into him, he's just not gonna die. His walls, he's given so much reinforcement. And the walls are also really annoying to play into. Yeah, I'm tempted to actually put him high B, actually. I'm gonna put him high B. I think Hulk's better. Groot can also play Fortnite. That is true. Yeah, I think Groot just lives very, very well. And his ultimate can be like, it can be fight changing, you know? It's quite an insane ultimate. But yeah, Groot with no mats, exactly. Next up is actually Penny Parker, who I think is another sleeper pick. I actually think Penny's better than Groot. Maybe like there. I think it depends on the map. I think Penny Parker can be really, really good. Especially on like, I'm gonna butcher these names. Actually, I can't really remember the map names really well. I think it's Yggdrasil. Penny's really good on that map. She's really good on, I think also Spider Islands. Is that what it is? I can't remember which one of the Spider maps the payload one is. But yeah, I think Penny's really good. Underrated. I think also depends on who you're going up against, especially if you're going up against melee heroes like Spider-Man. I am a Spider-Man main, as I mentioned earlier. Yeah, I think going up against dive characters can make it really tough to deal with, especially like Spider-Man, for example, and even like Black Panther and stuff. It's really hard to destroy the nest because you're a melee character. You have to either get in or Spider-Man use your webs, which is so inefficient. It is a waste of time to even think about doing that. But yeah, I think Penny is I'd say a high B probably. Maybe actually on the same level as maybe on the same level as Groot, but she's definitely better than Cap, I feel like. Yeah, she definitely can get countered by a lot of comps, but I think she's still a really, really good pick. This second Sun with Chuck White hitbox is disgusting. Yes, also she has the zip she can do. Yeah, A on her map, low B otherwise. Yeah, I'd say putting her high B then as like a middle ground is a good place to put her. But yeah, her stun is insane. The little web wraparound thingy that she does. It can interrupt ultimates really well. Yeah, solid pick. Thor, I think, is probably gonna be... My opinion on Thor has changed. I don't think he's as good as I thought he was. Actually, I'll probably put him on... I think... No, you know what? I'm gonna put him on B. I'm gonna put him on high B. Yeah, I think that's it. I think this is the move. This is the schmove. Strange, yeah, this is the move. Thor has a really good damage. Like I said, with Cap especially, he boosts him up quite well. Also with Storm, but Storm isn't played that much, to be honest. But yeah, I think Thor can output an insane amount of damage. He also has really good peel with his shift and with his you know, he can bully a lot of the divers essentially, like Black Panther, like Spider-Man, stuff like that. C or D tier Vanguards. Possibly. I'm unsure. But actually, you know what? I'd probably do this. I'd probably put Cap in C, and I'll probably put Venom in C or B. I'll put him B. But yeah, Thor you can also really easily overextend. If you use your right click, you can really easily pick up your rotation. Managing your resources is really, really important as Thor. His ultimate's kind of weak. I feel like it's like as soon as he pops it, everybody can just immediately run out. It's so easy to to get no value out of the ultimate, or basically just use the force ultimates from my experience. But yeah, going on to Venom. I think Venom is low B, probably. The thing with Venom is he's a nuisance. He's really good against lower ranked players because lower ranked players just waste their cooldowns on Venom trying to kill him, and then Venom just gets out with like, you know, he uses all his shield, and then like he goes to really low HP, and then, you know, oh, I'll use my shield, I'm back, and then he goes to really low HP, and then he just swings back out, and then he's, you know, you thought you killed him, but you actually didn't, and now you use all your cooldowns trying to kill Venom, and the enemy team can just run you over because there you go. Now, Venom is really good with like Spider-Man, for example. If you have like a coordinated dive, he can be really good, especially giving Spider-Man that team up, which can give him that one-shot potential on a lot of things, especially like flyers, for example. Really good against flyers with the one-shot potential. And you can one-shot any 250 HP target. There's a lot of Venom is definitely better with. Well, I wouldn't say Venom is better. That elevates Spider-Man. But yeah, that's I think is how I would. I think I'm kind of happy with that. With those. with these ranking for the Vanguards. Mick on cap though, that's A tier. I agree. Mick on cap is insane. Luna Mantis meta really hurts Venom because he doesn't really have any capacity to outplay stuns in his kit. That is true, which is why he's not higher. I think, yeah, because then once you get to the higher ranks, I was talking about the lower ranks, but once you get to the higher ranks, then Luna and Mantis are going to time their CC as soon as you get low, before you have a chance to jump out, essentially, before you even have a chance to pop your shield sometimes. And with the double CC, you're just a sitting duck in the back line. Luna and Mantis actually do decent amount of damage too. And yeah, Luna and Mantis are kind of the meta right now. I'll be going into that in the strategist section later on. But yeah, so far I think this is what the Vanguards are. Right now, Strange is definitely the best one. Magneto is a close second, but I think both of them just sort of vary on the team comp. Hulk can be really, really good, especially with Strange. And the rest of them are like, you can get value out of them, but yeah. So that's it for the Vanguards. Next up, should we do Strategists or Duelists? Let's go into the, since we were talking about Mantis and Luna, let's go into the Strategists next. Okay, we'll do Strategists next. So, starting out with Adam Warlock. Now, Adam Warlock, actually, you know what? Let's just start with the S tier strategists. S tier strategists right now are Luna Snow and Mantis, 100% without a doubt. These are also ban worthy. All these S tier characters, by the way, are like frequent bans that we see in GM, top 500, and Diamond above, really. You see all of these. You see Luna and Mantis interchangeably banned. Strange also banned quite a bit. But yeah, it's mostly because they've got decent damage. The damage boost from Mantis is actually quite insane if they can keep up the uptime. And both their ultimates are insane. Both of them are survivable ultimates that just pause a fight. You're unable to kill anything when these ultimates are up, unless you have the one shots from like Magneto or Namor or something like that. And even then, you gotta get, it's a bit tough anyways to even get value out of that. But still, Luna, Snow, and Mantis, they both have, insane healing ultimates. And they both have insane damage outputs too. They act like almost a second duelist sometimes, especially Mantis can output an insane amount of damage. The CC also available makes them really hard to dive, as we mentioned earlier with Venom, and even, if you're playing characters like Iron Fist, Spider-Man, Black Panther, both of them are really, really hard to dive. You have to bait out a lot of cooldowns before actually committing to the dive. Essentially, their ultimates, I think, are the main thing that make it, especially Luna. I think Luna's ultimate is better than Mantis' ultimate, even though, because Luna, you can swap between healing and damage boosting depending on what's necessary. Mantis is just, straight up, healing, exactly. 12-second trank from Luna is just a flat out crazy. Exactly, it's 12 seconds. I didn't even know it was 12 seconds. That is crazy. But yeah, you're just stalling a fight for 12 seconds essentially. And if your enemy team doesn't have a Luna, or the enemy team doesn't have a Luna to counter it, or just some sort of like Luna or Mantis really to counter ult it, you're just sort of done. You're just sort of done. So yeah, Luna, Snow, and Mantis definitely the best strategists right now. Next on the list, I probably would say is Cloak and Dagger. I'd say Cloak and Dagger is probably A tier right now. Cloak and Dagger's ultimate's also really, really good. Cloak and Dagger, I think mostly you pick them for Dagger. The healing output you can get is actually pretty good, especially with the burst healing. The little orb you can create is quite insane. Once people started figuring out what it actually does and started playing into it, it can be insane for HPS. Cloak and Dagger's ultimate, I think, is what makes them shine the most, because it's, first off, you can stack it up. So if you go back and forth, ×3 healing, ain't nobody dying in that. There's no way, Joseph, that someone's dying in that. But yeah, also you can, it does damage, so you can even you can ult around the entire point. Enemy team trying to touch the point in overtime, they're gonna have to take the damage from it. And even if so, no one's gonna die in it because it just has so much healing. But yeah, Cloak and Dagger, they don't have that escape. Well, not escape, they don't have that CC, that survivability that Mantis and Luna have. They do have the little cloak invisibility thing. It's quite easy to track, if I'm being honest. It's also very short. Yeah, I can make them fly, but I think Luna, Snow's, and Mantis' CC is just outweighs it quite well. They also, there's like the globe thing that Dagger can put out, which can definitely help their survivability. But yeah, I think just Luna, Snow, and Mantis are just so good right now that Cloak is forced into A tier. I don't think they're on the same level. Cloak is still a really, really good pick though. Cloak and Dagger, 100% would recommend playing them in game. Next up, I put Jeff the Shark in S tier last time. Now the reason I put Jeff the Shark in S tier is because he just does a lot of healing. And the thing is, that is all Jeff does. Jeff just does a lot of healing. He's not got any CC. He's not got anything else really. He just doesn't die, because if you try to go on Jeff the Shark, he just goes into his little sharky mode and he just pops bubbles, and it's impossible to kill him because he's going on Mach 10, and he's just really annoying, especially because I'm a Spider-Man player and I'm meant to target the back line. It's really hard to kill Jeff. You just sort of don't kill Jeff. You just sort of ignore him, or you just sort of annoy him. But yeah, that's Jeff. So put him on A? No, I'll probably put Jeff on B. I think Cloak's better than Jeff. I'd rather have Cloak than Jeff on my team. And to be honest, yeah, I mean, Jeff, people were going crazy about Jeff ult because you can just eat an entire team. I definitely think there's counterplay. There's a lot of counterplay to the game, and once people start learning how to play against him, I think he's definitely, he's not going to be as scary as everybody, initially thought, kind of similar to Iron Fist. Some people start learning how to play against Iron Fist. He's not as crazy as you think. But yeah, that's my opinion on Jeff. His ult can wipe teams. I'll be real. Can wipe teams. It is countered by Cloak, by the way. It is also countered by a dash. It's there's definitely much better. There's much better util that provides. Like Mantis, for example, provides the damage boost. I didn't even touch on Luna Snow's Snowflake, which is so vital to her kit. Using Luna's Snowflake on a flanker, or even a Hela if you have a Hela on your team, being able to keep them topped off constantly, allowing them to peek and continuously peek angles, not have to worry about peeking back or dropping back for heals, or have that consistent pressure out. So important. Also good for burst healing tanks, or Vanguards, sorry. But yeah, Jeff is also facing the same situation as Cloak, where Mantis and Luna are just in a league of their own. And arguably maybe you can put him high A, but I think me personally, I think I'm gonna put him in B. Throw that on Spidey, since they never come back for heals. Yeah, there you go. Throwing it on Spidey, throwing it on a Panther, throwing it on Psylocke, throwing it on Magic. Any of these flankers really who are gonna be out of your line of sight will just get automatic topped off. Even putting them on Spider-Man allows them to take more, to even just win the 1v1. It's similar if you ever played Overwatch, similar how you would treat Tracer as Zenyatta. You put the orb on Tracer, the Tracer that has the orb on them kind of wins the 1v1. So it's sort of in that sort of regard, or at least that's how I see it. And yeah, it just keeps them topped off and able to just ruin the backline without having to worry about going for health packs 24/7. All right, next up we've got Adam Warlock, Loki, and Rocket. Now, I think out of these three, I'll probably put Rocket in A tier. I think I'm gonna put Rocket in A tier purely. Rocket, okay, I put Rocket quite low. I think I put Rocket in B last time. Rocket isn't very good. But what Rocket brings to the table, Rocket's Res Beacon, first off, is really, really good. Everything else about Rocket, kinda ass. Except his team up. If you have a Bucky, or you have a Punisher on your team, the team up is so good. The amount of pressure that you can output onto the enemy tanks, their Strange Shield, gone. Groot Wall, gone. Everything is just gone. If you can use that team up well, you can win games. And that's why I think he's better than he's an A. I think Cloak and Dagger is still better. And I think Rocket only works in those team comps if you don't have a Punisher, you don't have a Winter Soldier, don't pick Rocket, because he's probably B or C tier. But yeah, if you do have those characters, put him in A. Yeah, that's what I think. Maybe I'd argue put him in high B, and then with the team up, I'll put him in A. So I think B is probably a good middle zone. But yeah, that's what I think about Rocket. But I like Luna because I play Zenyatta in Overwatch. There you go. Although speaking of Zenyatta in Overwatch, there's somebody who does have a similar playstyle to Zenyatta in Overwatch, and that is Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock is also a weird one. I think honestly I'll put him in B2. I think I'll put him below Rocket. Adam Warlock has the survivability, sure, because he has Soulbond. Soulbond did get nerfed, like I mentioned in my previous video. Soulbond did get nerfed. He's got burst healing. He just doesn't have that reliable healing, unfortunately. He's got the burst, but that's it. You need a good, strong strategist as a second strategist in order to keep Warlock being viable. He has a lot of damage output, which, you know, is quite sought after, like similar to Mantis, right? Having that high damage output is pretty good. Being undiveable with your Soulborn's is really good. As soon as Soulborn's down though, you're kind of cooked. Let's be real. His ultimate's good, but it's also really easily counterable. I feel like, especially if they have a flanker, as soon as Warlock ults, or even like if you Moon Knight, for example, you just ult the ult and everybody's dead. Everybody's dead. So yeah, Adam Warlock definitely has the strengths. His team up with Mantis and with Starlord can be really viable. Essentially, it's actually, I would say, one of the meta comps right now to run, but only in that comp. I feel like you only see Adam Warlock when Luna, Snow, and Mantis are banned, and even then, you probably won't see him. But yeah, still a good pick. But I still think, actually, you know what? I'll probably put him above Rocket, because Rocket I feel like is only there because of the team up. Better than Jeff though, definitely better than Jeff. And finally, we have Loki. Loki, I think, is probably B tier, maybe low A tier when the enemy has a Luna on their team. When they don't have a Luna on their team, he's probably C tier, I think. He's just annoying. Once again, you know, I might put him low B, but probably, you know what, I'll probably put him on C. Yeah, I don't think it's fair to put him below Jeff. I think he's just as good as Jeff, actually. Being able to like, once you get to higher ranks, especially, people start destroying his clones. You don't have the uptime, so your healing is cut in half or even cut in thirds, really. His ultimate, like I said, you can copy Luna ult, which is really important. You can have 2 Luna ults in your team, which is insane. But yeah, Loki's damage is okay. The only thing that makes him good is he's good into dive. Same with Warlock, his strength comes from dive, from the enemy team running dive, because then they jump into you, you pop your invulnerability thingy, I don't know what it's called, and nobody can take damage. That's it. That is where Loki's strengths are. Otherwise, kind of dookie. If you're not playing into dive, Loki is terrible, in my opinion. Right, that is all the strategists. Let's go into the duelists now for this tier list. So let's get it out of the way, guys. Every game, or 99.9% of the games that you play on Diamond and above, have Hela and Hawkeye banned consistently. Both of them, when they're in the game, have the opportunity to just run the lobby. It's insane that more than half the roster is unplayable if there's Hela in the game. Hawkeye is a bit more manageable, which is why I think Hela is higher than Hawkeye. So Hawkeye is like low S tier. Hela is S+++ right now. If you don't ban Hela, you throw your game, because then it's literally a game of who has the better Hela. Do you want RNG to be the reason you win your game? No. You want to be better than your team, that's what. So if we had S+, probably put these two, and S++, these two. But yeah, these are my tiers. This is where I put them. Hela just has insane damage. I've spoke about this so much on stream. Hela can 2-tap people. Hela can also stun people when she's getting dove. She can also turn into a bird and fly away in omnidirectional, so any freaking direction she wants to. She also has hover too, just like a small caveat to that. She also has an ultimate which gives her invulnerability frames when she's casting it, so she can dodge ultimates and dodge big damage incoming to her. Or maybe like, for example, Bucky's about to ult her. Nope, gonna use my ultimate, and now you can't do anything, and now you're a sitting duck. And her ultimate, by the way, also 2-taps most squishies, and is AoE, by the way, so it can also AoE, and also gives you a second life, and has a big massive health bar that lasts 1 billion seconds. And then when she comes down from it, her cooldowns are back up, so she can use her bird and fly away again. You know, it's just, Hela has just the most overloaded kit, and I've said this since alpha. Hela needs to pick a direction. She needs to pick a lane. You either go the high damage route and you make her more vulnerable, right? Maybe remove her stun, make it a slow. Maybe Change the way her bird works. Maybe make the cost time make a bit longer or something. I don't know. Or just lower her damage. Make her not able to 2-tap. You cannot give her everything. Hawkeye is in a similar vein, but Hawkeye doesn't have the stun. And his escape is a double jump, which is a bit more, calculable, I guess. You can see the trajectory of his jump, and you can throw your shit at him in that way. You can also kind of bait it out, but there's just too many things to bait out for Hela, that by the time you bait out one thing, you bait out the next thing, she's got the first thing back again. So like realistically, like what is Hela? They also patched a bug that allowed you to cancel her ult during its cost time. Yes, that's another thing. A lot of ultimates in this game can be cancelled whilst you cast them. Like Psylocke, for example. If you hit a Psylocke while she's doing her like thingy, right before she goes into her little swipe stuff, she loses her ultimate. There's so many characters in this game have that. But Hela, for some reason, has invulnerability frames. So she doesn't even take damage. It's not only does she not lose her ultimate, it is impossible for her to not get it off. Crazy. The only answer to Hela ult is a Strange exposed. Yeah, exactly. The only way you counter Strange, the only way you counter her is by Strange holding a shield in front of her face. Pray to God that shield is also full HP. Or, yeah, Magneto using his ultimate to absorb some of the damage from it. So, Hawkeye, yeah, like I said, in the same vein, has high damage, can 2-tap, has extreme damage on tanks, by the way, on Vanguards. Both of them have extreme damage on Vanguards. But Hawkeye has big damage on Vanguards, especially because he can charge up his arrows quite easily on them. His swipe can, negate people from diving him. He also has the double jump on top of that. He's got the deflect too. I don't know how useful that is. I never see Hawkeye deflecting my stuff, so to be fair, nowadays I see Hawkeye banned almost every game, so don't really see Hawkeye much anymore. His ultimate can be good. His ultimate can be very annoying against characters like Spider-Man, for example, or like Black Panther, who rely on the agility of their character, who rely on the movement to dodge shots. But he's just a stationary target there, and then bada bing, bada boom, dead. But yeah, next up, we're gonna go with Psylocke, I think, who's also a fan favorite to be getting banned in high elo. Psylocke is probably gonna be A tier, in my opinion, because Psylocke does way too much damage. I think Psylocke's left click, her burst, she can do 300 burst in an instant. 300 damage in an instant is not okay for a character that can go invisible. And especially to tanks, which means you can half chunk, if not more than half chunk, I think, if you do the full combo, you can more than half chunk a tank in a split second, which is not okay, especially coming from invisibility. Psylocke is way too good. I think though, I'm more inclined to be okay with Psylocke being this good because she's not as easy as Hela to get the value from. She does have to, she does have 2 dashes too, which is, so she's quite safe necessarily. She's got 2 dashes and invisibility too, which gives her movement speed. But there's definitely I feel like there's a lot more skill involved in playing Psylocke. Her ultimate's also really good. She doesn't get invulnerability frames like Hela does, but it's really good to just, dash into the back line, click Q, and then, you just ult both strategists and they're both dead. Or that you force an ultimate, at the very least. It's angry. She has a one-shot combo, but it's optimal to just sit in the front line and burn the enemy tanks. Yeah. They can't do anything and then go. Yeah, exactly. So because her left click is more of a shotgun kind of ability, and because you have so much burst, you can definitely take out key targets in fights, especially if it's like a Punisher, because Punisher's quite a big hitbox. So easy to take out a Punisher in a fight. But obviously Luna Mantis are a bit smaller, so it can be a bit harder. Definitely, you can still take out targets mid-fight before they even have a time to react, which I guess is the caveat for or the issue with a lot of stealth characters in these kind of games, that they try to give them these really quick turnaround kills or KOs, sorry, which I don't agree with. But benefit of the doubt, Psylocke actually requires some skill to do it. But most of the time she's gonna be focusing the Vanguards anyways. Vanguards can't do much, but yada. She has to be in the enemy backline in order to get those off. She has to be in harm's way like a flanker does in order to get this damage off, which Hela doesn't need to do. So yeah, that's where I put Psylocke. I put Psylocke in A. Now, next up, I actually put Moon Knight in S tier, I believe, last time I did this tier list. Now, to change and rectify that, I don't think Moon Knight belongs in S tier anymore. I think Moon Knight probably belongs in low A. Yeah. We might have to shift things up because I think Sock's a lot better than Moon Knight. Let me put him in B right now. Let me put him in B right now. We'll see where everything works out. We're going to be maneuvering things around real quick, but I think we'll put him in B right now. It's definitely comp dependent too. He's got some great bursts. I think also, I think the issue with Moon Knight that I personally hate and I think needs to be changed is how much damage the Ricochet does. He gets way too much value from shooting a stationary Ankh. You should not be able to one-shot a character in a PvP game by shooting a stationary target. The only reason I can say it's kind of okay with Hawkeye is because it's an ultimate. Moon Knight, you just click a button which has a like a freaking 7-second cooldown or something. He has two of them out at once. You just throw it down, left click, right click, left click, dead. And you don't have to aim for them. You have to, there's no counterplay to it besides dashing out. Also, by the way, it pulls you in. Now, me personally, I think that they should, I said this in my last video, but I still think they need to change or alter the weight of his damage, or I guess the impact of his damage. I think he can still have high damage if he hits the target first, sure. But hitting the Ankh first needs to be toned down. If you're hitting the target, I think then, the player should be rewarded from hitting their shots. Sure, I'm happy with that. But hitting a stationary Ankh, tone that shit down. Tone it down. Tone it down. Otherwise, his mobility is not the greatest, I'll be real. He could definitely be better in terms of mobility. His ultimate's kind of terrible too. I mean, you can probably guarantee a pick or at least force an ultimate. I heard actually you can probably kill in Luna ult. Kill people in Luna ult. I'm not sure exactly if that is the case. Maybe somebody in chat can confirm that for me. But yeah. You gotta bait out the Ankh, or else he's just yeah. He can, okay, there you go, yeah, okay. So you can kill in Luna ult, so I guess that's one of the good things about him. But I think the rest of him, I mean, he's good into like multiple Vanguard comps, for example, because the ricochet damage you can get is insanely good. Teams that want to clump up, want to play together, not really going for too many off angles. He's really good in those. He really excels in those kind of situations. But yeah, I think he's probably either a high B or a low A. I want to see where I'm going to put everybody else first before committing, but we'll see. Right. I guess now we can just, I've also put Bucky in S tier. I don't think Bucky's S tier anymore. I think Bucky's probably A tier. I say Bucky, it's actually Winter Soldier, but I call him Bucky. I think Bucky's A tier. Bucky's has high damage, similar to Hela. He can also 2-tap headshot with his primary fire. The only reason I think that's fine is because it's a projectile, and also because he has drop off at 20 meters, I think, or 20-ish meters. So yeah, he's also very good into dive characters. If someone like Spider-Man or Black Panther tries to dive him, he can use his charge, get him to really low HP by just using his combo. He's also really good at catching tanks off guard, especially tanks like Vanguards, like Penny, like Captain America, even Strange, to be honest, or Hulk. Being able to hook them out the front line, playing next to your Vanguard, hooking them out the front line, then charging them into your team. Insane amounts of burst that you can get with Bucky. Not even to mention that his ultimate, I'm sure you've heard again and again and again and again and again. His ultimate is ridiculous, and the resets you can get with Bucky is quite crazy. You can get team wipes with it if you play it well. Obviously countered by Luna and Mantis, which is why they're in S tier and he's not. But yeah, the thing is with Bucky though, is that you cannot play him properly if there's a Hela or Hawkeye on the enemy team. It is so hard because you just get poked out, because you both hold the same sidelines and you just get poked out. Unless you have another Hela on your team putting that other Hela in check, then sure. But yeah, having a Hela on the enemy team, you just get tapped away before you can do your damage, realistically. So he's not S tier, he's probably an A tier. Honestly, I'd say I'd put him Maybe on the same level of Psylocke, probably. Maybe a bit lower than Psylocke, probably Psylocke's a bit higher. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's good for Bucky. Right, next up. Let's go Black Panther. Black Panther, I'd probably say I put high B. He's got some really good damage, especially if you manage to get your resets off. Quite insane amounts of damage, especially into clumped teams, because you can get your debuff on so many targets with one spear throw. Yeah, mid high B. Yeah, I think high B is probably a safe place to put him. Is he as good as the other B tier characters? Yes, I think he is as good as Moon Knight. I think yeah, Black Panther. It definitely has a bit of a higher skill floor, like similar to the Hulk scenario. If you're good at Hulk, you can be insane at Hulk. Like you can carry lobbies. And Black Panther, I think there's definitely a little bit of skill that's required. It's not just mindlessly shooting the Vanguards like Moon Knight. But once you learn your input, your when to go in, when not to go in, all that jazz, he's great. He does a lot of damage. Reason he's on A is because he lacks the range. He doesn't have his mobility is great, but it's not as good as, it's not as good as Psylocke, for example. The burst you have isn't also as good as Psylocke. It's still really good. You can really force ultimates with your burst. But yeah, I think B is probably a safe place to put him. I definitely think Bucky is better than him. I'd say he's definitely not the same as Moon Knight, but I think Moon Knight just requires a little less skill, just a bit less skill essentially for to get the value. Next up, is Black Widow, and I think, guys, we have our first D tier character, Black Widow. Unfortunately, I think it is just the nature of these kind of characters. If you don't give these characters one shot, they are terrible. If you do give them one shot, they are broken on some maps. But Black Widow, I think, is probably one of the worst characters in this game right now. Her ultimate's kind of dookie. She can't one shot, so she can't confirm kills. And if she does want to confirm kills, it actually takes a decent amount of time, and probably by the time that you try to get that second shot off, if you manage to hit 2 shots in a row, considering that one of them was a headshot, by the way, the strategists are probably going to heal them up anyways. She's a worse Hela. She has worse defensives. She has no real escape necessarily. Yes, she's got the run and jump thing, but what is that? That's like a Cap has that. That's not really anything. Sure, she has the kick and she has the pull and stuff, which is kind of cool. But why would you play Widow? There's just so many better characters that fit that role right now. Hela is just infinitely better. Hawkeye infinitely better. To be honest, I'd say even Winter Soldier and Namor probably even better than that. And then not probably is better than that. But she's just not very good. I mean, you can do the Hawkeye team up too, which is kind of cool. It doesn't really help her that much, realistically. So yeah, I'll put her in D tier. Now, next up is going to be a bit of an interesting one, because I actually want to do Iron Man first. And Iron Man, after playing in a higher elo lobbies where Hela and Hawkeye are banned. Okay, so first off, if Hela and Hawkeye are playable, probably D tier, maybe C tier. Maybe C tier because of his ultimate, because you can destroy, you can kill Luna, you can kill people in Luna Snow ult, in Mantis ult. Probably C tier, just because of that. Without that one shot, you're in D tier 100%. Now, in those lobbies where you don't have Hela and Hawkeye, he's probably low A, probably high B. The only time that Iron Man exists against a Spider-Man is if your strategists have their eye on you. Otherwise, you're not playing the game. You're just not. And yeah, Hela makes it really hard for him to play the game. Punisher can also make it really hard for him to play the game, but I think it's a lot more doable than, you know, getting 2-tapped out of the sky. If you also have Hulk on your team, the Hulk Strange Iron Man combo, which I kind of touched on a bit earlier, is insanely good. It is definitely one of the more I think if you have Hello Hawkeye banned, I would say probably one of the meta comps you could play if you have people who are good in those characters. That is provided Helen and Hawkeye are banned. But yeah, he's still pretty good without the Hulk team up. Obviously, he's just infinitely better with the Hulk team up because his damage just, you know, skyrockets. But you know, there is the caveat over there. And is he better than Winter Soldier? Is he better than Psylocke? I don't think so. I think he probably is just as good as Black Panther. So this is probably interchangeable real quick. Oh, not this. I think mine's worse. I think this is probably interchangeable. But I'll put him high B. I'll put him high B. So tough because they had Venom, so this guy had a free kill on me every 30 seconds. Yeah, especially if you have the Venom team up, you just one-shot him. Iron Man Hulk A, without a Hulk B in high ranks. I agree. Next up, we're gonna do is who should we do? Should we just go in order like this? Let's do Iron Fist. Iron Fist is a weird one. Because Iron Fist, I'll be real. Okay, in low elo, Iron Fist runs rampant, right? Probably A tier in low elo. You go a bit higher where people start playing Hela all the time, probably B tier, maybe C tier. I think I'd probably say Iron Fist is probably C tier. I mean, his damage just isn't that, not consistent. It's consistent, it's just not bursty. There's just so many ways you can counter him. Yeah, he sticks to you, sure, he can be a menace, sure. Iron Fist really depends on like on who your enemy team is running. I don't even know. His team up isn't like, he doesn't even get anything for his team up. He gets the damage because he's the anchor, but nothing crazy with the team up. His ultimate can be quite scary. I'll be real. His ultimate can be quite scary. Countered by Luna and Mantis ultimate. Right there. Nothing they can do. Once again, Hela makes the game unplayable for him. Mantis also just makes the game unplayable for him because he just gets CC and then die. But yeah. Iron Fist, if you're in the lower rank, he's probably a bit higher. He's probably like low A, maybe high B in the lower ranks. But I'm not talking about the lower ranks. I'm talking about the mid to high ranks. In which I would say that he's probably high C. Probably high C, low B, sorry. Probably high C. If you know this kid, you can kill him easily. Exactly. Once you learn how to counter him, he's really easy to kill. Once you know like not to shoot his reflect, that's mostly it. Once you know how to shoot his reflect, once you can bait out his reflect, he's done. Next up is Magic. I haven't seen too many Magics either. And to be honest, I used to think Magic was a better, or was on the same level as Black Panther. I used to think that they were the same. But I think Magic got nerfed before going into live. And her ultimate, I think, got nerfed. And yeah, she's still pretty good. But I don't think she's as good as Black Panther. I think Black Panther is better. I'd probably put her maybe a high C. I think she's better than Iron Fist. Or maybe she's on the same level as Iron Fist. Yeah, maybe high C. I'll put her high C. Yeah, she can dodge stuff with her TP. It's pretty cool. I mean, the team up with Psylocke can be pretty good too, or even with Black Panther. But realistically, when are you ever gonna run these two characters on the same team? Unlikely. You'll see just get countered by flyers then. Yeah, I think Magic used to be a lot better, especially because you just have infinite amount of shield regen or over health. Yeah. Probably high C. I might consider putting her low A, but probably I'll say high C right now. Next up is Namor, who I think I will also put in C last time. But I think I changed my mind. Because Namor, when Hela and Hawkeye are banned, Namor is actually pretty good. When Hela and Hawkeye aren't banned, Namor is basically a worse version of Hela. Yeah, he's good he's annoying into flankers. If they have Black Panther or Spider-Man on the enemy team, sure, the beep beeps can be annoying. I know, I hate beep beep. Being a Spider-Man player, he's got good damage. The good thing about Namor is his ultimate. I think also because his ultimate is can burst, is one of the few ultimates that can burst through Luna, Snow, and Mantis ultimate. He also has his bubble, his cocoon that he can go into. So if anybody jumps in, if anybody jumps him, bubble up. There you go. That's his sort of get out of jail free card, provided his team heals him because he doesn't actually get healed in his bubble. His damage is pretty good too, but yeah, it's provided that Hela and Hawkeye are banned. If Hela and Hawkeye aren't banned, he's like probably B tier. But if Hela and Hawkeye are banned, I'll probably put him in A tier. The lowest of A tier probably I put him in. Lowest of A tier is probably good for me. Trying to destroy more turrets and Penny Nest on Hulk. That's another thing, right? Yeah, because in these melee characters, or as these melee characters are really tough to destroy these deployables, like turrets and stuff. What really shines in this meta right now is burst damage, which Moon Knight only has when his onks are up. Namor has it almost all the time, which is why Hela is also really strong, because sustain is quite strong right now. Hela 2-tapping, Hawkeye 1-tapping or 2-tapping. Solid burst shotting people. Yeah, I think just because he has high damage burst, not necessarily DPS, because Moon Knight I think has higher DPS possibly. Because he has such high damage burst, it makes him better than Moon Knight. And also he has better survivability. Yeah, I'll check it out in a sec. I'll check it out of this tracks. Wanda's probably... Okay, let's look at Wanda's kit real quick. She's got the suck, which is really annoying against flankers. Sure. Her right click does okay damage. Sure. Her E also really good against flankers. Sure. Her ultimate... I think I've seen more Wandas die before getting their ult off, instead of actually getting kills with it. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to do it to her. Wanda's ultimate's terrible. With Magneto, she's probably high B with Magneto, which is fair enough because Magneto's been played a lot. But without Magneto, to be honest, even with Magneto, I think she's just like kind of because the Magneto team, the Magneto the team up with Magneto, it got nerfed. One's going to live, so it's not even that good anymore. Beforehand, you just play Scarlet Witch, which I did in the tournaments actually. If you saw that video, and you can play Scarlet Witch just to get the sword, the mag sword, and you just go. Right now, I haven't even really noticed it. Maybe that's not because people aren't playing Wanda too much. But yeah, I think Wanda's probably on the C tier list right now. C list currently. Probably can be good in low elo lobbies. Really easy to get into because you don't need to have much mechanical skill. She's got 2 escapes, so she's really easy to. You can bait them out, to be honest, but in higher elo. But yeah, her ultimate, you can probably get off a good ultimate in low elo and high elo. No chance you're getting off an ultimate. Unless you do some like strange TP portal where you have like a split second to react to it. Probably. Only time. But yeah, otherwise, I think C tier is fair enough for her. Now we're going to my main. And I'm going to be... Okay, I know it's obviously going to be impossible for me to be not biased. Not biased at all. But I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna try to be as unbiased as possible, okay? This is an unbiased as possible take from a Spider-Man main. In low elo, bro, he's insane. No one knows how to counter him. He's insane. But in high elo, I'd probably put him here. Black Panther is better than Spider-Man. It's just that there's so many things that you have to bait out in order to be useful as Spider-Man. Not to mention that you gotta get your freaking combo off, which is you gotta click like 4, you gotta do 2 animation cancels to get the freaking combo off, bro. 2 animation cancels to get the combo off. Whilst being a 250 HP target, okay, and in the enemy backline in melee range. And the reason is because Luna Snow out heals your damage by pressing the clap button, whatever that's called. Can freeze you, can also freeze your ultimate, by the way. Mantis can out damage you and also can sleep you by like freaking aiming at the floor. Not to mention that both their ultimates counter your ultimate, but they can also sleep you in your ultimate or stun you in your ultimate. Hela, same thing. Hela can 2-tap you midair whilst you're flying down. Hela counters you. You try go on the Hela, she stuns you. You try go on the Hela again, she flies away. Then you change you on her again. She stuns you and you're dead. There's no way you can go on her again. She ults and then you're for sure dead, bro. Hawkeye's a bit more manageable than the others, if I'm being honest. But Hawkeye can get you to like freaking 20% HP before you even have a chance to close the distance. Psylocke also can mark you really well. Bucky also is really good against flankers. You can use your charging fist as soon as Spider-Man engages. You also gain overhealth from the charge, by the way. So even if Spider-Man did try to use his one-shot combo, you gain overhealth, so you're not gonna die to it. Namor has his beeps. So once again, can't really go on him too much. If you do go on him, he has his bubble he can go into. Otherwise, then he's a bit easier to deal with. But there's just so many things. Vanguards are even out of the question. Cloak and Dagger also. I didn't even mention Cloak and Dagger. Cloak and Dagger has their bubble, has their like invisibility thing. Can also do burst damage to you as Cloak. There's just so much. There's just so much that counters you as Spider-Man and makes your life difficult that you have to like force out before even getting any value. And there's so much risk into doing it that he's just not very good. Now, obviously, this isn't to mean to say that you can't play him and you can't do well with him. Especially in Diamond lobbies and above, when Hela and Hawkeye are banned, it is actually possible to play him. I think I actually had the hardest time in Plat playing Spider-Man, purely because everybody who played Hela, Hawkeye, and you just couldn't do anything without engaging at 10% HP. It was insane. Insane. I'm surprised to put Panther that low. I'm unsure currently. He's either going to be low A or high B. I was feeling it out. His mobility makes it all worth it. Does his mobility make it worth it? That is something that he has above everybody else in the game. Realistically, he has the best mobility in the game. The most fun mobility in the game too. He's swinging around, dude. Who doesn't want to do that? And if you're into like tech and stuff, there's a lot of different tech you can do with Spider-Man. He's still really fun to play. I still main him. Like I said, I play him in GM all the time. So like, he's still really good. He's still really good. But, there's just so many things to counter him that you need you need, not to sound egotistical, but you need so much skill in order to make him work. And just work. Not even to like carry, but to make him work and to not inch your brains out. It's just such a high skill floor. Probably the highest skill floor in the game. Am I correct in saying this currently? That Spider-Man probably has the highest skill floor in the game? Yes, I think so. I looked through all the characters and I think he does have the highest skill floor in the game. I would reckon he's better than Namor, but worse than Bucky. I think he's just as good as Namor. I think they solve different situations. I probably am happy to put Black Panther up here, to be honest. I think Iron Man would go up here if you have the Hulk team up, but if not, I'll put him over here. I think this is fair. I've seen all Namor. I've seen a lot of Namor. Yo, what's good, Gumika? How you doing? How you doing? Right, okay. So that's it for Spider-Man. Feel free to fight me in the comments because everybody did last time and they thought that I was saying bullshit just because I main him. But because I main him, I understand where his flaws and his strengths are more than any other person, probably more than any other, main. So yeah. Next up, Squirrel Girl. Probably C tier. She's actually really annoying. A good Squirrel Girl can honestly be really annoying to play into as a Spider-Man. But I feel like a lot of people just spam chokes with her, spam with her, don't get too much value with her. Yeah, she's got a low skill floor to just get damage off. Her ultimate's kind of terrible unless you're in very specific situations and very specific rooms. But I think that that Squirrel Girl is, she just doesn't provide too much to the table. She has okay mobility, sure. She gets a double reset. She gets a reset so she can double jump twice. Well, it's not really a double jump. It's like a little hop. She can hop twice. She can get the root twice. Her damage is high when you hit her shots, which also has quite a forgiving hitbox, by the way. But it's too RNG. Her ultimate, like I said, is terrible, and I think she can definitely work into a lot of different comps. I think Moon Knight fits her bill a lot better. Moon Knight does the same thing as her, but better, I think. Is it fair to put her underneath Spider-Man? Yeah, probably. Still no more because of everyone playing Luna. Yes, that's another thing I didn't mention about Namor actually. Yes, because if his team up with Luna, gives him an extra beep beep, which slows, which is insanely good. I forgot to mention that. Thank you for bringing that up. There's definitely some people that pop off, but there's so few and far in between that it's literally just it says more about the player than it says about the character. So that's Squirrel Girl. Next up is Star-Lord, who I think put as quite low in last tier list, and I'm changing my mind. Now, Star-Lord has a caveat to him. I think Star-Lord's probably low A tier, maybe high B, depending on who you're going into. If you manage to get either Luna or Mantis banned, or even both of them banned, and Hela banned, Star-Lord can go to town. His ultimate is insane. His damage, his base damage is also quite insane. If you can track with him, which you can definitely get some getting used to, which is surprising that I find him quite difficult to play. Don't have too much time in him, so maybe that's why. Because I used to main Genji and Tracer back in Overwatch 2 and Overwatch 1, and same sort of aim style, same sort of play style as Tracer, mixed in with a bit of Soldier 76 in there. But yeah, I think maybe it's just a case of him being a sleeper pick. If he has Adam Warlock on his team, he also gets a res, which is pretty freaking good. So I think maybe I'll put him low A, maybe high B. Honestly, I'm gonna put him low A. I think he can definitely get marked by a lot of people. I think low A is a fair place to put him. I think actually he probably is better than Spider-Man right now, especially because he doesn't have to get in too close to do all his damage. Unlike Spider-Man. He's pretty good into Iron Man too, I think. Yeah. He's got a lot of mobility. His I forgot, I haven't even mentioned this. His I don't even know what it is. His little front flip thing that he does to reload his bullets makes him immune to damage. And he makes him invulnerable essentially, immune to damage, immune to CC, which means that he can tank ultimates. For those of you that didn't know, now you know. He can tank Iron Man ult, he can tank Spider-Man ult, he can tank Namor ult, he can tank Magneto ult, he can tank so many of these ultimates with a good, well-timed front flip, which is crazy because he has 2 of them. Which also, by the way, reloads his guns, as I mentioned. So shoot, 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 dodge the ultimate, shoot, shoot, shoot again. Tough time. Next up is Storm, who probably also joins Black Widow on the tier list, but she's better than Black Widow. Storm, maybe low C. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll put her low C actually. You know what? I'll put her low C. I'll put her low C because she just her ultimate's kind of cool. Her ultimate's kind of good. Gets countered by Luna Mantis. Also, she's a flyer, so gets countered by Hello Hawkeye. Iron Man is better than her purely because Iron Man has a splash damage. He can like peek around corners and splash damage. Also, has a team up with Hulk. Insane damage with your beam. Storm doesn't really get that. Yeah, she can damage boost her team. She can, speed boost her team. She has a team up with Thor too. She's either low C or D. I'm not sure. She just does a whole lot of nothing, I've seen her in my games a few times, even with Hella Band, and she still kind of feels like a useless pick. Storm's the most unpopular hero at the moment. I never see her at all. I've only seen her twice. I actually think I've seen her more than I've seen Black Widow in ranked. What means she has to play close into the ground to boost her team, and a Storm that does that is dead. That's true. So I probably, Nah, I'll put her in low C because she actually has a decent ultimate. Unlike Black Widow. Black Widow has literally nothing going for her. Storm at least has an ultimate that can win a team fight. Provided they don't have Luna or Mantis. There you go. But her neutral game is terrible. No point. Next up is Punisher, who I think I think underrated last season or last tier list. It's a toss up between high A or high B or low A. I probably would. It could be a case of the Rocket team up. Maybe the Rocket team up definitely does make it better. I'd rather have the Rocket team up on Bucky though, by far. The damage up that you get is insane. His turret can also be really good for taking down shields and forcing teams from actually being able to push forward. His ability is okay, I guess. His shotgun pullout time I think takes a bit longer, and to be honest, back in the beta and back in the alpha, I used to be really scared about going against Punisher as a Spider-Man player, but I really don't anymore. I think the pullout time is just so long that I can get off damage, bait out his shotgun, and then as soon as he stops back to his rifle, I go back in and he's dead. It's so much easier to go on shotgun on Punisher. But against Vanguards, he is still pretty good. That is true, especially with the team up from Rocket. You get the infinite shotgun, which is bum 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 bum. His ultimate also forces Luna Snow or Mantis ultimate or wins team fights. People are definitely catching on that he's very killable in his ultimate though. I'm seeing a lot of Punishers die in their ultimate, so it's not too scary anymore, which is kind of good. Which is why I'm, tempted to put him in high B instead of low A. But I'm unsure about this one. I might put him in high B. And finally, we have Wolverine, who I think I put in D tier last time, which I was sorely mistaken because Wolverine is not that bad. People just didn't know how to play him because he's a melee character with a dash. Everybody thought that he's a flanker. You play him like Spider-Man, you play him like Black Panther. You go in the backline, you try and assassinate the strategists, and bada bing bada boom. But no, that is not at all how you play Wolverine because he does more damage based on the health that you have, which means he's good against Vanguards and blowing up Vanguards and kidnapping Vanguards essentially, or kidnapping anybody really. So I actually think Wolverine is probably in B tier. Is he better than Spider-Man? I think it's situational. He's probably low B, maybe high A, maybe low A. No, yeah, I think maybe this is very comp dependent. I think as a general rule, I'll put him in low B, or like mid B. Yeah, I think mid B. This is like mid B. There's no like low B. This is mid B. I think it's a safer bet to put him there. If you're going up against a team which has a lot of Vanguards, oh bro, he's gonna have a field day. He pisses Vanguard mains off to no end. When you just dive in, you dash into them and you kidnap them into your own team, and then you just swipe. And then if they're not dead, bro, his ultimate does so much damage, it's actually insane. And when he's fully enraged, he does so much damage, it's actually insane. It's actually insane. For that reason alone, I kind of actually want to put him above Moon Knight. Because Moon Knight also is very good against Vanguards, but Wolverine can actually confirm kills on them. I guess Moon Knight can confirm kills on squishies better than Wolverine can, probably. I mean, you can definitely kidnap squishies too into the enemy team, into your own team. So, you know what? I'll probably just put them, these three are probably on the same level, and Iron Man's probably just slightly above. At the end of the day, I think that every character can work. You know, like I said, I've seen all of these characters, apart from Black Widow, actually, in high elo. Black Widow, I think I've only seen like once or twice in my ranked games. And both of the times they were just freaking easy pickings. So, yeah. Otherwise, I think you can make most of these characters, you can make almost all these characters, work in any game you want, realistically. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. Let me know. Give me your opinions down below. I'm sure you all will. You guys all love telling me that I'm wrong and I don't know what I'm talking about. So thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.